hail Biafra. This is Biafra Liberation Army Network coming to you again. Please do subscribe, like, share, and comment. When broadcast of our Prime Minister, the latest you have not heard. His tour to Belgium. Brethren are getting interested every day. Everybody is contributing their quota. It is high time you contributed your quota. What I'm doing to you is part of what I should do to tell you that you are not the only one in this struggle. And we must do everything we can do right now to have Biafra, because if we fail it this time, well, I don't think it will come again, because we have two heroes here right now. Mazen Dekano, a hero, and Simon Ekpa, and then some other hidden heroes that are pushing and supporting and contributing to this struggle. Please, it is now. God willing, Biafra will come. Please let's hear our Prime Minister as he speaks to us. Thank you.
Through the voice of Biafra, 97.5 FM, before the official launching of the Biafra satellite radio, which will happen anytime in a few days' time. I welcome all of you to this tour of Belgium. I want everyone to understand that we have picking up guns to defend our land, and the gun is not going down until the Biafra is liberated from the Islamic State of Nigeria. For decades, Biafra people have been treated like slaves within the Nigeria enslavement. Over 100 years, we have suffered marginalization, and we have seen worse than the apartheid in South Africa. Today, Biafra person cannot be a president in Nigeria. Biafra do not have seaport. Biafra do not have the presence of any embassy. Biafra do not have any office or any presence of multinational corporation. Biafra do not have any headquarter of any world class organization. Biafra land do not have the presence of the Nigeria federal government. Biafra land do not have road. Biafra do not have school. Biafra land do not have hospital. Biafra do not have social amenities. Biafra do not have any presence of Nigeria state within our land. This is not something that started yesterday. This has been the result of the marginalization, discrimination with impunity, the dangerous diversity of the Nigeria state that Biafra people is unfortunately being part of Nigeria. This is a mistake that British government have done, and will continue to hold the British government accountable. Will continue to blame them until the day Biafra will finally gain its freedom from Nigeria. The British, out of their selfish interest, joined people that have nothing in common together, and they begin to compete among themselves, religious-wise, economic-wise, educational-wise, and cultural-wise. And this whole combination of this pull apart from each other become a dangerous diversity that we suffer today. Biafra people embraced Christianity. Christianity preached about love of one another. Christianity preached about do not harm your fellow human. We embrace Christianity. Our cultural and traditional religion also preach the same. Do not harm any person that is your close relative, your friends, extended families, and even foreigners and strangers. This is what our value system is all about. We embraced the foreign god and become even more radical than them. And then as time goes on, we begin to see the Islamic State, we begin to see the Fulanis coming with aggression, coming with terrorists, coming with terrorism, attacking and killing Biafrans since 1945. This led to the declaration of Biafra by Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu in 1967. Nigeria, being a dangerous diversity, witnessed coup upon coup, military coup upon military coup. And as this was going on, Simon Ekpa was not born. From 1967 to 1970, as Biafra struggled to exit Nigeria because they feel that their life is being threatened and their future and existence is being under attack. They fought a brutal war. Simon Ekpa was not born by then. After 1967 to 70 war, Nigeria declared that it was a no victor, no vanquish. By then, Chief Odumegwu Ojukwu was in exile. At the end of the day, he came back. He was celebrated because the decision, he saw what many people did not see. The people who fought Ojukwu today is being massacred in their villages. Gowon is one of them. Gowon village has witnessed the highest IDP camp within the Nigeria state. He didn't see this coming today. Simon Ekpa was not born in 1970. Simon Ekpa was not born in 1979. Simon Ekpa was not born in 1980. Simon Ekpa was not born in 1981. Was not born in 1982. Was not born in 1983. Was not born in 1984. Simon Ekpa was born in 1985. In 1982 to 1984, a man called Buhari planned coup against Nigeria. Out of this dangerous diversity, he became a military dictator under military rule in Nigeria. It was not as a result of Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa was not born. People are not asking question, why are there this coup upon coup upon coup within the Nigeria state being carried out by North and of course Yorubas? But whenever this coup happen, and if there is one single Igbo man in this coup, or one single Calabar man, or one single Ijaw man in this coup, it become Igbo coup. After that, this man called Buhari committed many atrocities, including an international crime. 1984, they kidnapped a man called Omaru Diko from London because he believed, as a Fulani man, he doesn't respect law, not the law of his own country, not the law of any other country. He came back after many years to become a civilian president with impunity. This same man went to Kenya and kidnapped the current leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped in Kenya, there has been killing and killing since 1999 by the group led by Wazirike. Simon Ekpa was not part of it. From 1999, Wazirike Mossop members was massacred in cold blood, killed at every given opportunity with stray bullet, straight shooting, live bullet by the Nigeria state. Simon Ekpa was not part of Biafra then, at least not part of the agitation for Biafra. The same Wazirike Mossop gave birth to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, indigenous people of Biafra, and still the killings of Biafra continued. In all these things that were going on, nobody summoned the courage to resist the killings of the Biafra agitators. In 2020, the Fulani killings and upsurge of terrorists become a thing of concern across the Nigeria state, across the entire Africa. They were ranked the number 4 most deadliest terrorist group in the world. And because our people become helpless and nobody was speaking for them, and none of these people who call themselves leaders from the eastern part of Nigeria were making any move to protect the women and children from Biafra territory. It was what gave the birth to the formation of the Eastern Security Network by the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Simon Ekpa was yet not part of the leadership of the Biafra movement. After the Eastern Security Network was formed, they made sure they protected our people going to farm in the eastern part of Nigeria. It took them within 1 year, just the mention of Eastern Security Network then made the terrorists to flee from our land. Remember that those who pushed these terrorists to Biafra land did not push them to come and feed their cows. They came prepared for jihadist movement. This did not go down well with the Nigeria state that is being controlled by Fulani terrorist sponsors, from the president down to the lowest person. It didn't go down well with them. And they could not also eliminate the Eastern Security Network. So there is need to hunt for the founder and the head of the ESN and the Biafra movement, which is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. While this was going on, Simon Ekpa was just a broadcaster, making videos, sharing videos, exposing Nigeria state, and nothing else. This led, they went to Kenya, kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in 2021. I want people to understand that I'm just trying to make this as brief as possible, because between 2015 to 2017, we have witnessed the massacre of Biafra agitators under indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. They were killed in hundreds at every given opportunity. There has never been any reprisal attack against these killings. There has never been any consequences on the Nigeria side for killing Biafrans. Never has there been any consequences. They're killed and we make noise. Those who were then make noise, and that is the end. As this was going on, some people who are today blackmailing and betraying the movement they started were the one who pushed these people to go and die. And after they got killed by the Nigeria terrorist state, their own life continued. They lived on. From this criminal called Chinas and Woru to Chike, all of them were part of the movement. After people are massacred in the street, their own life moves on. They will now want other people to join. The killing did not stop until 2021. They kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Remember, the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to do with Simon Ekpa. But you know, many of these criminals today, they tell you that the activities of Simon Ekpa is the reason Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not been released. And you have to ask them, was it Simon Ekpa activities in 2021 that led to the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the first place? The answer is no. I want you to understand how the enemy works. Those who have become the sabos in our struggle, they have made themselves available to be used by the enemy. So they tell you the activities of Simon Ekpa is the reason Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released. But it was not the activities of Simon Ekpa that led to the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But you know, when he was kidnapped, I looked around for 6 months. They know that I'm a very, very, very dangerous person because I know they must have done some consultation. A dangerous person in the sense that I will do everything to liberate my people. I will do everything to protect the women and children of Biafra because I have seen it all. It took me years to study Nigeria up to this point. Not only that, it took me years to study international law. And that international law is what I'm applying to the Biafra struggle today. For the very first time in the history of Biafra and Nigeria, the dangerous diversity that we find ourselves into have made it possible for us to defend ourselves. And as much as I agree on no violence, we are not the one bringing violence to Nigeria state. Rather, Nigeria aggression must be responded with aggression. That aggression is self-defense. After 2021, I promised Biafra people after 6 months of blackmailing me because I did not agree to work with them. I have seen many things that many people did not see. I promised Biafra and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu one thing. Your kidnapping will be useless. The reason they kidnap you from Kenya, I will make sure that it is as useless as anything. And your kidnapping from Kenya will be very, very expensive to Nigeria state. That was my promise before man and God. And believe me, I am living up to that promise. Today, if they are not regretting kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they are lying. I also promised Biafra, nobody will kill you again, like in Aba, like in Iguacha, like Wike did in Obibo, and go free. Remember, when Wike was killing Biafras in Obibo, Simon Ekpa was not there. It was not as a result of the activities of Simon Ekpa. Have you all forgotten? When you were massacred at Mpo and Enugu, Simon Ekpa was not your member. Simon Ekpa was not even talking about Biafra. But today, the enemy is trying to make you believe that the problem is Simon Ekpa. What was the problem that led to the massacre of thousands of Biafrans in Obibo by Wike? Was it Simon Ekpa? What was the problem that led to the massacre of Biafrans in Aba, in the school? Over 150, at least officially reported. It is more than 200 people massacred in one day. Simon Ekpa was not a member of Biafra then. When they were killing people in Enugu, when they were for money training, massacred our boys in Enugu state, Simon Ekpa was not part of it. What was the problem then? What led to the massacre of Biafrans in Enugu? Now, I want you to understand one thing. The enemy have seen that somebody actually knows his right from his left. And that person is the Prime Minister of Biafra today. For the very first time in the history of Nigeria and Biafra, we say, even though we are fighting for the exit of Biafra peacefully, we will not fold our arms and watch you kill us again and cry on social media. No. When you come with your arms, we will defend ourselves with our own arms. And that is exactly what is happening today. But you know, they are crying. And I want you to understand, ask yourself a question. They say Simon Ekpa is killing military in the East. What are the military doing in the East? Are you not in democratic system? What is the business of military in your street? Why are military having checkpoint in Biafra land? Is it not, are we not in democracy? I want you to know the answer today. The answer is because they feel threatened. They feel that Biafra, it is time for Biafra to go. They feel that Nigeria have expired. And the only challenge Nigeria has is coming from the East. And let me tell you, no amount of bullet will suppress the challenge that the East is giving to Nigeria today until the exit. So they try to make you understand that Simon Ekpa is killing soldiers. And I want you to ask them, what was Simon Ekpa doing when the people of Biafra were massacred at Mpo? Just last year, they killed them in Aba. Was it Simon Ekpa? The answer is no. And the last question I want to ask some of you today, before I go to the update and achievement we've made very briefly, is they came and announced that 16 soldiers have been massacred in Okwama community. But what they are not telling you people, what were the soldiers doing there? We've listened to different stories. The story of oil bunkering, which is the business of the Nigeria army, terrorist army. That's what they do. The fight in Okwama community is a fight of the control of oil bunkering. They are not telling you people this story. The Biafra government has nothing to do with oil bunkering. We are going to control our natural resources by ourselves, by force, by arms, by everything possible. And when that time comes, you will know that Biafra government is responsible for whatever that is going on in control of our resources. The time is going to come. Now, if they are crying about the soldiers that have been killed in Iguacha, how many times have they cried that the Biafra Liberation Army killed soldiers? But they are complaining and crying every day for nothing. At least you have seen that soldiers were killed in the Okoma community for bunkering, for oil bunkering. But have you seen them crying that, mentioning it, that Biafra Liberation Army have killed the Nigeria army and they want to revenge? Have you seen them saying it? Ask yourself, why is Okoma community different? Because they know the validation of Biafra will begin from there. But they are not mentioning it. Do you know, as they are killing Biafrans, Biafra army are neutralizing them? Do you know how many numbers of all these terrorist army that Biafra Liberation Army have neutralized? Thousands of them. I am saying, I want you to cut this particular segment. Thousands of them. And if they have not neutralized them, they will level entire village in Biafra land. We will not allow that anymore. They have done it before. But the question I want to ask those sabos, why have they not mentioned that Biafra Liberation Army are killing Nigeria army when they come to kill us? Rather, they are mentioning and publicizing just 16 soldiers that the community, that the people that are fighting doing oil bunkering, they had issue and it led to their death because they have been killing each other in that community. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Biafra. But that community is a Biafra community. But you see, it was all over news everywhere. 16. But ask them to give account of how many soldiers has fallen in the second Biafra war. Because what is happening now is Biafra war. A systematic war going on. How many Nigeria army, terrorist army has fallen in Imo State? I am telling you, they are running up to thousands in Imo State. But they have not come to shout that army have died in Imo State. Ask yourself, why? And let me tell you, this is we are operating under international law. There is no law that we have violated because we know exactly what we're doing. You don't expect Biafrans to fold their arms, to fold their hand because we are fighting to liberate ourselves peacefully. We were agitating peacefully, and for that reason, you pick up your guns and your AK-47 and start shooting a live bullet on protesters. For many years. And I told them, if you have been shouting on social media, I will not shout on social media. Have you seen me broadcasting for a long time? My broadcast is what I am doing now. On this tour, I use the opportunity to speak to Biafrans like you, and that is the broadcast I'm having now. The time for broadcasting is over. It is the time to put everything we have learned and researched for many years into action. into work. And whenever the time for this tour, I will use the opportunity to broadcast to the Biafra people. That's what I'm doing. And when our social media app comes out, maybe there could be a change. So I want to assure you people today, Biafra, all over the world, that the defense of Biafra is a no-go area. We will fight and fight until the Biafra is restored. And nobody is going to die. I am telling you the fact. Our aim and objective is to make sure in this fight, no Biafra dies. But like Onyendu used to say, they will kill us, we will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra will come. I want to thank those of you who have supported this movement up to this point. But remember, we have entered the liberation phase where everything will be very difficult. By the special grace of God, it will not be difficult for the Biafra people. The dragon flag has been raised since 2021. And the dragon flag is not going down. We have raised the Biafra Liberation Army flag. We have also raised the Biafra Resistance Fighters flag. We have raised the Biafra Navy flag. We have raised the defense, the BDF, the Biafra Defense Force flag. That flag, those flags will never go down until the declaration of Biafra, and Biafra will be defended. For those who are saying that it is not possible, that we are just deceiving people, thank you very much. We will deceive people, but remember, when the time comes, and if you are a Biafra and saying it, you have something waiting for you. The Biafra law and policy will wait for you at the right time. And then you will shout, had I known. Those who are the people are shouting, Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is killing soldiers in Nigeria. Why are you going to support him? These are the same people who were pushing people to go and die in Aba. And they went and actually died. We have the recent one. And I want to ask you, have there been any consequences from their side? The answer is no. But you know, we are not going to overlook those things based on the fact that they are not supporting what we are doing. Every Biafran is recognized by Biafra government. Government is a government. We are not organization. We are not IPOB that you say you don't register. You are not a registered member. No, that is the difference. So when those people were killed in Aba, we made sure that the Nigerian government that killed them pay for it. And today, believe me, they have paid more than that expected. So the government of Biafra is living up to its responsibility. And we have also made sure that those of our people who think that the government is just a shambolic one, in their various communities, there has been peace and tranquility, while other people in Nigeria are facing extinction, including displacement, going to IDP camp, killing them, abducting school children, killing women and all that. They are all happening all over Nigeria. It is only in Biafra territory that is not happening. And I'm telling you, any day they try and abduct anybody in mass in Biafra land, believe me, I will not say what we're going to do, but we know where to hold them. The time has come that you must be speaking very bold. Do not be scared of your enemy. The invasion of Biafra land must stop. The terrorist checkpoint in Biafra land must be disbanded. Let me tell you, it is something that is going to take time. We're not saying that it must end in one day or in 1 week. It is something that is going to take time. We are fighting a terrorist government that has billions of dollars. And so far, so good. Systematically, as you can see, we are defeating them. And the defeat will continue. So, my fellow Biafran, the 2nd of December declaration of the restoration of independent state of Biafra is very sacrosanct. We maintain it is very, very sacrosanct. The ongoing self-referendum is very important, that you stick and make sure that your people in your villages, in your town, participate in the voting. We need as many number of votes as possible in order to legitimize or to validate the actions of the government. We must get a reasonable number of votes, and we'll have time. Those states that are yet to receive their tablet, especially the electoral officials, you are going to receive your tablet very, very soon. So, but for now, it is very imperative that the media team of the Biafra Republic government in exile and every lovers of Biafra government in exile and those who are individually broadcasting on their own must channel their energy to the voting for self-referendum. Very, very important. We need to get as many votes as possible before October this year. The first phase of this voting is going to end next month, which is May. After that, we go to the second voting, and then we'll go to the third voting, to the third phase. So it is very, very important. This is what is going to define a lot of things that will happen this year. For those who do not understand how the Biafra independence and liberation is going to happen, of course, I'll always explain this. On the 2nd of December, 2024, when we have gathered enough vote and see that Biafra people have given their consent to the government, we will declare the restoration of independent state of Biafra. And we are going to intensify the defense of our land. We are also going to intensify the delegitimization of the Nigeria state within Biafra. In addition to that, we will intensify our diplomatic fight to see the recognition of Biafra. Like you hear our Director General of Foreign Affairs Ministry talked about Belgium. It is the same everywhere. Biafra is the only country that actually have enjoyed recognition. No other country has been recognized during the declaration of independence. It is only Biafra that we recognize. And the people do not understand the importance of these recognitions. The past leaders of the Biafra movement have done very well, but nobody has been able to break the jinx to benefit what this recognition has to offer. The Biafra government is doing everything to make sure that the recognition of Biafra is restored. We are also filing application in the next 10 days. We are filing application to many authorities that you are going to hear from the media announcement. This application has to do with the recognition of Biafra. And also, we will make sure that at the international stage, Biafra become a topic. Biafra is not going to be a topic by carrying flag and running around in the street. Biafra can never be a topic by coming on social media and shouting Simon Ekpa is a criminal. Biafra can never be a topic by calling Ike Kweremadu Onyoshi. Biafra can never be a topic by claiming that or shouting that Tinubu is a drug pusher. No, we have done all those. Everybody knows Tinubu is a drug pusher. Everybody knows Tinubu is a criminal. But that is not the reason to fight for Biafra. The reason to fight for Biafra has to do with the fight to preserve yourself, the fight to preserve your life, the fight to make sure that your culture, your way of life is preserved, and of course, the people as Biafra nation as a large. The fight to live, the fight to life, that is the reason for Biafra. The reason for Biafra is not because Nigeria is corrupt. No. The reason for Biafra is because Nigeria is not a country. The reason for fighting for Biafra is because when Nigeria was created, the people of Biafra did not consent to Nigeria. The reason for fighting for Biafra is because the original plan of Nigeria has changed without you knowing it. The reason for Biafra exit today is because while Nigeria was recognized as a secular state, today it is no longer a secular state. It has changed from the backyard to Islamic State. That is the reason, without your consent. The reason for Nigeria to break away, to break into how many pieces, but Biafra own is that we are only interested in our own nation and our own people. And let me tell you the fact. The old Eastern Nigeria that fought Biafra war remain Biafra people. Those who say they are not Biafra, the referendum is going on. You may decide not to. You may decide to say no to the referendum. And when the result comes, we are going to check you. But for now, Biafra remain 40 United States of Biafra. And the old Eastern region is the Biafra. And those who will tell you that Igbo 5 state should go, you know, these are the issues that I really don't want to talk about because it does not make sense. Igbo does not have 5 states. If you talk about Igbo, there are Igbo in Benue State, there are Igbos in Kogi State, and so if they are telling you Igbos, what is going to happen to the Igbo in Benue State? What is going to happen to the Igbos in River State? And let me tell you, these are just, when we talk about Igbo, we talk about those speaking Igbo. There are Igbos that doesn't speak Igbo. These are the ones you find in Ijo, Efik, Urobo. These are Igbos that doesn't speak Igbo language. What do you do to them? Anyway, my people in Belgium, you have a very important role to play in this struggle or not in the liberation of Biafra. Our achievements speak for itself. I will not sit here and start listening the achievement of the Biafra government in exile. Our own is that we've made sure that the legality of the government in exile has been proven beyond every reasonable doubt in accordance with international law. Our own job now is to continue to push for the recognition of this government, including the de facto government in the homeland. The structure of the government has met the 1933 Montevideo Convention of a state. And now that this particular formation of the government and structure has been achieved, we now focus on the delegitimization of Nigeria. Kowa Nigeria Igwe as much as possible. That is all. You have to prove to the international community how serious you are. And of course, the next is to the UN. We will hit them very hard with evidence. So for peace to return to the entire West Africa, Biafra must be free. The continual subjugation of Biafra, the continual forceful union in Nigeria will never restore peace in the West Africa. And this particular peace will go beyond West Africa up to the entire Africa and Sahel. Because the exit of Biafra will also end the upsurge of terrorists within the Sahel region. The interest that the terrorists have, that is the reason they are invading Nigeria today, many of the majority percent of this interest lies in the Biafra soil. And so the exit of Biafra will end the entire terrorist plan in Africa. And everybody must understand this. So when we fight for our freedom, we are not just fighting for the freedom of Biafra alone. We are fighting for the mankind. We are fighting for the preservation of the human life within the Sahel region. So any nation, any government that is very responsible must support Biafra. But like everybody knows, we are not bothered whether a government recognizes Biafra government or not. We know that we must continue to do that which is right according to international law until they are forced to recognize Biafra. Because the time is coming when you can't hide away from what we are doing. The time is coming when this government, who have refused to comment on the activities and the status of Biafra, will be forced to comment. And though the time is coming when the United Nations, who have remained mute and don't, the spirit of I don't care, will be forced to comment on Biafra. And that will determine, that comment will come as a result of our determination, our resilience, and what we have to do to delegitimize Nigeria state within Biafra land. And that's where we are going today. The economic sanction strangulation continues. So Belgian people, I want you to understand that for us to, go deeper into the affair of the Biafra Republic government in exile is something that takes a lot of time. We are now going to start the awareness like never before, making sure that our people will listen to the voice of Biafra radio from the satellite, and our people will listen to the voice of Biafra television, satellite TV in Biafra land, and that is already happening. We are live on satellite on TV, live on satellite on radio, and we are still spreading. Now we have ordered that the entire coastal state, the state from the coastal region, will have, first of all, will have this radio, the FM 97.5 FM from the satellite spread across the state before we talk of the hinterland. Because in the hinterland, the entire Biafrans are aware of what is going on. So our satellite is focused on the coastal side. And from this week, we are into one of the hinterland state will test run the satellite radio from the Biafra Republic government in exile and the Biafra de facto government. So please, if you are one of those who are an officer for the voting for the referendum, please, you have to beef up your activities. We need as many votes as possible before October. This is very, very important. We need as many votes as possible. So I want to thank you for supporting this government up to this point, and our activities in defending Biafra land will continue. That is not going back. From here, I thank you very much. Airborne to the Biafra Republic, airborne to the Biafra Liberation Army, airborne to the Biafra Defense Forces. Thank you all. Your flag and the arms will continue to go against the enemy, which is the Nigeria terrorist state, and will protect our women and our children, and nobody will intimidate us to drop our arms for self-defense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Our Prime Minister, you are doing wonderful work. In fact, Igbos are blessed. Biafrans are blessed to have heroes at one time or the other. When we had Ojukwu, he declared that war, and they fought for 3 years. Unbelievably, they fought, and they were not even ready to give it up. This time around, we've taken arms again. We have taken arms. They will confirm it. Yes, we have. But then, why is it that they want to force us into armed struggle, where they can democratically sort these things out, or sort it out, so that people will peacefully part and still be, you understand, when you part, you have your own government, you do your own thing, there will be development, there will be emulations of good things. And before you know it, Africa will be, it will be a developed place. But no, they want that bloodletting because of their selfish greed, because of the selfish leaders and these bloodsuckers. Well, I know God will turn the table against them, that before the war starts, they will go down. Yes, either by sword or by sickness or by whatever means, they will go down because they have planned for the death of pure masses or general masses. They planned for it, and that thing will boomerang against them. Thank you, please, thank you, Belgian people, for supporting our Prime Minister. God bless you all.